Welcome everybody to my first and last episode from Season 8 of the GuildRock SMP server. It's been a fraught season for lots of different reasons, but it's still had a lot of fun, and I do just want to showcase a few things before the server closes, which is going to be happening within the next 2 weeks really. We had a change in quite a few things for Season 8. I was taking quite a lead on things in member management, and actually that left me quite burnt out by the end of it all. So I'd already set myself an aim that this season was going to be the season of ugly builds, and I was going to have one build that looked good, and that was that. And this is the build we're looking at right now, my effectively spawn house. So what we did is we've got our spawn building up there, then we have an area here called the hood. The aim was basically for everyone to have a starter base somewhere near spawn, and that would be a wintry village anyway, because we were starting in November. So we would hopefully tie in a sort of a winter celebration, all our starter houses, get to know each other and form guilds from that. Like the best plans, not everything entirely worked beautifully. This area became quite a lag area, and going in and out the portal in the hood could even crash the entire server. So it's had a few chops and changes, which is meant for one of the things that it's taken me a while to actually get my starter build built, and finally it was about a week ago when I got it completed. There's a few other buildings around here I'm going to pick out and show you, but hopefully all the others should be covered in other people's videos at some way, shape or form. I'm merely going to show you mine. Now I'm standing on a statue of Scotty that's across a villager area there. We actually just flooded, and we were hoping to turn that one into a frozen lake. But here is my starter build. So the one thing you'll see is that it is not a rectangular building. Whenever I'm doing a build, and I'm wanting to make it look good, I hate starting off with just a rectangular block. So you can see I put walls in on the side here to make it look more curved. I've got a bit of depth coming in by also then using walls or windows or trapdoors to give a little something around there. So around the back here we have a little mining area here, and it's all set up with the shelves and things, so you can descend into a cavern and then off to mining there, which I always thought was quite cool. And really some of the things I tended to put, but not nearly as nice looking, are in previous starter builds. I've got a little wild garden here as well. This actually had to be built out with a pond and a waterway up to it. Now this build kind of split into two parts. I always wanted an animal stable area, so we've got my horses there, but I've also got the workshop, so to speak. So just about everything I might possibly want, including a water pipe there. One of the things I've really tried to do here was break up the builds a lot more. So I've been using barrels and shells and all sorts of things that I would not normally have expected to use within the build. And then when we come to the internals, this is the first time I've really gone all out on the internals, and I'm really proud of it. Everything from using auto crafters as cabinets, the shelves as sides for things, whoops, lamps that you can turn on and off, balconies that you can look out of and fly over, carpets, and then the chill out area up here with some bunk beds and a gaming system. a wardrobe and beds. You might have noticed, I'm really loving the effectively the shelf things there, but one of the things I'm finding difficult is sometimes it looks great with things on, other times it really doesn't. I'm not convinced I should have put the items in there, but I've left them up there. You can obviously, you're welcome to your own conclusions on that one. I'm not entirely convinced. And up at the top, there was a talk of my guild using this as a storage area as well, so that's been set up so it's got lots of storage, but it's just not in use. But I basically took the view, oh, beans as well there. I basically took the view that humans like to actually cram stuff in all over the place. So instead of going for something that looks a bit more minimalist and then looks a little bit more open, I've just crammed any available space I can with stuff until it looks like you can't sensibly fit anything else in there. And I think that's been one of the key things that's made a huge difference with this particular build. And yep, even along with the roof, you can tell that I've had to go and make it the roof slightly wonky to make it fit, but actually I think that just really added to the charm of it all. So the other build that I've had an investment in is a more community focused thing that's again was a lot of fun, and that is Wolf Creek, or as everyone else calls it, the Dr. Seuss house. And the plan for this is it's mirrored after Goose Creek Tower. There we go, Goose Creek Tower. And it's pretty much a guy went and built a house. He built one layer of it and then built another layer on top of it. I very thoroughly recommend you go look on the internet for it. But every single layer of the house was different. So this is my workshop-y lower level on here. Again, I've only recently done the internals. But then we go up and then we end up in a different looking build here by Carly. Welcome to my mind. Yeah. And basically every single stop, every single layer, someone else has added to it. So it gets a bit convoluted trying to find your way up and around. And some are more completed than others. Let's see, there's a door there. Can I get out and have a look? Yeah, so this was done as a community build. So several different players have all added a different layer on there, and you can just see all the different styles and skills that have gone on in there, including making an angled house, which, if I remember correctly, was bean. So this was a hell of a lot of fun, and there we go. 9 players all in all. So myself, Carly, Redstone, Akimitsu, Bean, Ray, Akri, Sterling, and Troy have all added levels to this. And obviously we've got the instructions here as well. But yeah, Goose Creek Tower is in Alaska. I thoroughly recommend you go check the pictures of that on the internet. It's insane. So here's where I actually started out. So as you can see, there's been a bit of a castle theme up there. In cobblestone, the most ugly of simple blocks. And this wasn't always like this. I actually had it as a mix of spruce and cobblestone. But obviously this year, this season, the villager changes to discounts, which we did come about partway through Season 7. We implemented them in full this time, so I needed a different setup for my villager setup. So you may recognise the kind of layout here. So I have all my villagers around the outside and all the beds around here, leading to an iron farm. But I've also got cactuses on the top on there because it's just a huge water stream. Storage there, obviously my tool area there, a snow farm, a wool farm, and here as well we've got a chicken farm, an armadillo scoop farm. I did have crops growing there as well, but there's been a recent change and they're just not replanting properly. And over here as well, which are still working. Yeah, I've also dug out so that I can have space to make a few things. I have space for my axolotls and a space for frogs as well, because I ended up opening a pet shop. And trash bin there. So these are all just really simple setup. Copper golems came in late, so I tried to add them to the already sorted storage system. Yeah, as you can see, it didn't really work out brilliantly. Now, one of the things I'm going to try and show you really quickly is if you get back here, you can get up to the turrets. And what we actually have here is we've got my happy ghast. Those trapdoors are blocking a minecart that's on an activator rail. So if you hit that button, the activator rail goes, and that then releases the ghast. There's one on each of the sides around there. And as you can see, that's the cactus farm we've got there as well. You can get in and out from there as it goes. Now this used to be a village, and I wanted this one specifically because it had an outpost further around there. We've got an amethyst geode down there, so I can go in and collect amethyst bits and pieces. Same there. The goat horn farm will be familiar to anyone who saw my Season 7 things. Obviously, we've got dripstone farming there. Stone and cobblestone generators and basalt generator there as well. Lava farm and smelting area. Same for chorus fruit, which I particularly wanted to get hold of for when a character called Friendly was on our guild, who left the server in the end, but he wanted lots and lots of end rods. We've got a simple shulker farm up there. A Catawolf has been supplying the server with shulkers this time, rather than me using the UFO setup, and he kindly let me go and breed up and take away a few shulkers just so I've got something in there. I was going to try and make it into a breeder so I could deliver live shulkers, but that was one of the things that went by the way. As you can see, I've got a nautilus down there and another amethyst farm there. But this is the side that had all the farms on. Simple chicken farm here, but there's lots of foxes, hence all the glass. That then fires all the chickens' eggs, so you can get lots and lots of chickens in there. Hit them with slime potions and turn that into a slime farm. Potion brewer, an armadillo-based XP farm. Another really simple cactus farm because that kept losing cactus. Another coral farm here. All the general crop farms, kelp farm, and this was another attempt actually at a cocoa farm. The cool thing with this would be, bear with me a second, that you could go and knock those off, and they would flow and eventually end up in here, and you could put your hopper and similar there. But this is also just about the right spot, so you can lean and replant. So it's really quite hard to replant, but it does work. Now, obviously I wanted lots of bamboo. This is one of the coolest things. This is my pillager farm. Now, I want to step away a bit, because obviously pillagers aren't going to spawn when I'm right next to them. There we go. You should see that flappy trapdoor there's going. That's got a trident killer on it, and you can see the pillagers flowing in the water, hitting a tripwire that turns on the flappy trapdoor. And yep, you just see them all gently flow into their doom. And that all collects in a sorting system I've got down there. Right, what else do we have here? Turtle and Turtle Scoop Farm, a fish farm because I needed lots of fish for a silly reason. Up there we have a resin farm, which I was going to show the discussion on how I would go about building those, but that I think the moment for that one has passed. Oh, I could watch this forever and a day. And then over here, a little bit more out of the way of things, because I wanted to make sure that I didn't have too many things all running together. Then we've got the Sniffer Flower Farm. We've got a Silent Whisperer design based flower farm there, but I'm using water and gravity as a collection system. We've got the same thing there, but a sea pickle farm, and a dye area here as well as smelting. I ended up doing a glass farm yet again, so of course I needed lots of the dye. And up there is a simplistic raid farm, but it's also on the side of it that's got all the lights. That's actually an ink farm as well. Darn. And this is why you shouldn't stream during nighttime. Good grief. There is a farm here that is particularly interesting, and that's down here. So obviously a record came out, Lava Chicken, partway through the season, and in order to do that one you have to actually kill a chicken jockey. So Golden Helmet did a really good explanation of how to do this. So what we have down here is at an angle. I've got a minecart with a chicken in it, and it's right next to a magma spot on there, and just above there we go. So flappy trapdoor trident killer just above the chicken. Not enough to kill the chicken, but if I do this correctly, I should just be able to see. There we go, spot of lava. But the zombie spawner drops the zombies into that chamber there. They flow into the lava. If they're a baby, then they will be encouraged to drop onto the chicken and therefore become a chicken jockey. Now, obviously, the chances of that happening are quite slim, so you have to wait a while. but it does mean that we do get obviously a lot of eggs and rotten flesh, but we do get probably one lava chicken disc about every 25 minutes, half an hour. But as normal, I've gone in, well, I love my trial chambers. So I've ended up making about 3 trial chamber farms over the course of the server. And this time I've tried to make them a bit more simple, using fires this time rather than lava, so we don't lose the bits and pieces here. Now, whenever we've got the breeze, I've got it set up so the breeze falls onto a block. You can manually kill the breeze to get the breeze rods. And similar, this has got a breeze in here as well. So what we do is, that's exactly the same setup. But one of the joys is you can run this on Ominous, and you will get Ominous armor drops as well, which is cool. But all the bogged, of course, I'm getting all the arrows as well. So come next season, I'm going to be wanting to see what I can do with the parched to get the arrows of weakness that way for all zombifying villagers. But yeah, so it's important to get the raid farm in and the villagers, because there are 3 discounts at stack. You can't sort of stack and stack and stack the zombie discounts, zombie healing discount anymore. What you end up getting is, if someone gets healed, if a villager gets healed from being a zombie, that's a large discount to them. And then there's effectively a word of mouth. They see a fellow villager get healed, and that's another discount. And the final discount as well is the hero of the village. So a classic thing would be when you're trying to buy a bookcase from the villagers, it tends to be that it's 9 emeralds to get a bookcase, and then the 2 discounts that you would normally get from healing them from being a zombie and healing one of their friends from being a zombie gets you down to 3 emeralds. Well, if you then stack Hero of the Village, which is temporary on top of that, it actually goes down to the 1 emerald there as well, which of course you can then break a bookcase, you get 3 books, which you can then sell for an emerald each. So it is definitely an emerald multiplication system. So I needed a raid farm nearby, and I wanted the ominous bottles nearby as well. Now here we are in our shopping district, and straight away you can see a load of bookcases in a light arrow going down. We did this in a deep dark. So shockingly, I've gone and made another bookshop, and obviously I was selling Windburst, Swift Sneak, and Soul Speed 3 with that as well, and also Lunge, the new spear enchant. So again, not necessarily an ugly build, but it was meant to be a shop sort of built into the rock. So yeah, bit of fun. I enjoyed making that one, but again, it wasn't there to be a super cool building. However, I wasn't going to go and sell glass. It really wasn't the plan. But then, shortly in the start of the server, something happened, and Clem Burke of Blondie passed away. So I had to create a shop, the Heart of Glass. And then I decided that there was a building I really wanted to try building in Minecraft, and that was a Pets at Home store. And this is it. I have turned a Pets at Home store into a shop where we're selling lots of pet-based products, and I particularly wanted it ready so I could sell happy guest harnesses in all the colours. Obviously the goat horns, aquarium decorations, which is coral basically. Yep, saddles, leads, horse armour, and all the sort of eggs, fish, pufferfish and similar, and also have a grooming station, so you can have a llama grooming kit, a dog grooming kit, or a cat grooming kit with an aquarium in the middle. So the inside of this is looks like but not quite of the Pets at Home near me. The outside of the building is similar to the one near me, but actually the one near me is a bit more distinct and doesn't look as Pets at Home like as a picture I got off the internet that actually I worked for this one. And also, obviously selling records, I had to bring this back. I would love to show you so much of what everyone else has achieved here, but I have not been as on it, clear or active with those in the same way as I was in Season 7. Like I say, this season's taken a bit of a toll on me, and I'm looking forward to having a reasonably chilled out, but with a bit of a plan, Season 9, which will be starting soon. I already know who I'm going to be guilding with, which is going to be Miss Raybot, Akimitsu, Onakaris, and Colpoud, who is a brand new member to the server as well. So, like I say, I'm looking forward to all these things. I never did actually go and do gambling, but that's something I need to try. So I'm just going to see if I can do this. This is a drop shoot that Arcus made. You can already just about see the colour, but obviously it's made so you can go up as well as down. And it pops us out in the hood. Where we can just park ourselves home. And just enjoy the view.